Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to talk about case studies as a learning strategy, and we are Alani Sovalle.
Damani Cadenas.
And Angelica Quintero.
Okay, thank you. So as we said, today's topic is case studies as a learning strategy. So first of all, case studies are a form of teaching that have an important role in developing skills and knowledge in students. Real life scenarios given to students so they can analyze or problem solve a situation. Case studies are used as an interactive learning strategy that is shifting from teacher-centered to student-centered, where students can develop key skills such as communication, group work, and problem solving. So next, what are the advantages of case studies? Well, the first is help that case studies help students to think critically and problem solve. So as these are real life situations, students can relate and can connect the information they already have so they can reflect on them. These are usually done in groups or individually. There are various formats that can be used, such as media, role play, and these all are useful in both ways, in class or online. Case studies can tackle sensitive and ethical issues. Just as I said, because there are real life situations, students can relate to these situations, and in this way they can reflect, they can analyze really well and connect all the dots, all the information, so they can get so they can achieve what case students want to problem solve a situation.
Now that we learn a lot of advantages, but what about the disadvantages? The first one is the inability to replicate. This information cannot corroborate it because only one person values this information. Is the researcher bias? In this point is the way the data is interpreted. No classification is not the study goals. Time intensive. This method takes a lot of time. And finally, the possibility of errors. Like this method is based on memory, and this can lead with errors, and that is the reasons that this method has these disadvantages.
How case studies work? Well, first you will need to craft your case. When writing or selecting cases, consider that good cases tell a real story with an interesting plot, focus on a thought-provoking issue, and often contain elements of conflict. Promote empathy with the central characters, lack an obvious and clear-cut right answer, encourage students to think and take a position, and demand a decision and are relatively concise. To implement the case study, form groups to distribute the case to each team to review the issues. Ask students to sort out factual data by applying analytical tools, articulating issues, and drawing conclusions. Also invite the students to share their assessment of the case, potential decision options, and recommendations. Allow time for students to discuss the case with the class, and close the activity by summarizing key points and principles. Helpful tips. When facilitating the whole class discussion, prop students with questions, but avoid telling them the right answer. Consider presenting complex cases in several stages, asking teams to make decisions based in the limited information they have at each stage.
By following these simple steps, you can write an excellent case study. The first one is identify your course or the characteristics of your course. For example, what are the situational factors that impact this course? For example, it is a campus or online, and then you need to write all these questions in a text. For example, like this. The second one is clarify your teaching purpose and learning goals. Why are you choosing this technique, or what do you hope to accomplish? As the last step, you need to write all of these questions like a text. Identify the learning styles and underlying problem. Self-analyze. What is the question that you want learners to address or problem you want them to solve? Then you need to set assignment parameters to your students. What is this rubrics or what can do in the follow step, right? What are the assignment logics? For example, will this be assigned individually or it is a group of work? This kind of question can help to the student to write or have an idea that the teacher wants the students to do. Develop a plan for learning, assessment, or grading. If you decide to assess learning, how would you determine the learning has occurred? For example, we will use only put a check, a tick, or something, grading system, or to serve. How do you use it? Or do you need to create a new one? What is criteria for this to use the standard evaluation? Okay, here is an example. In this chart, there is an example of that. Step number 6, communicate assignment parameters to your students. How will you communicate these rubrics to students? Is this a prompt or presentation slide, use orally, or if you have an online course, you present a video or something else? In this case, the example, say the handout, he or she distributed a handout to the students. We decided again. The next step is implement the technique. How will you adapt this step or procedure for the students? You need to change something or to add additional logistical aspect to consider. Reflect upon the activity and evaluate its effectiveness. And then, if this is the last step, you will we complete after you have the implement the technique, how works in your group, or it's working well, bad, and why, or what needs to improve. Okay, it was a challenge or not. If the students enjoy the technique or all of these aspects, you can write down here, like you can see in this example. And this is all the process of the write a good thesis student. Thank you so much.
So with all of this, we could see that case studies are helpful for students so they can improve their skills, such as problem solving, working in groups, analyzing and reflecting on real life situations, and also increase learners' motivation, as there are different situations they can relate to. And so with this, we conclude our presentation.
Thanks for the time given. I hope this presentation helped you and have a nice day.
Thank you.